Some relationships don't end with a fight. They don't end with a dramatic moment. They end quietly. Slowly. Silently. And the person never even realizes what destroyed it until it's already too late. Today, you're about to learn the hidden behaviors that quietly kill relationships from the inside. Behaviors most people never notice until the damage is done. If you want to protect your relationship, rebuild connection, and avoid the mistakes that destroy love, stay right here, because this will open your eyes fast. Relationships rarely fall apart overnight. It happens in small moments. Small choices. Small changes. A look. A silence. A shift in energy. That's how distance begins. That's how two people who used to feel close start feeling like strangers. And the truth is, most couples never notice the danger signs because they're not dramatic. They're subtle. They're emotional. They're psychological. And by the time someone finally realizes what's happening, the connection is already damaged. One of the biggest hidden behaviors that quietly destroys relationships is emotional avoidance. This happens when one partner becomes uncomfortable with vulnerable conversations. Maybe they had a long day. Maybe they feel stressed. Maybe they don't know how to express what they feel. So they close off. They withdraw. They change the subject. They pretend they're fine. But emotional avoidance sends a powerful message. It tells the other person that their feelings don't matter. It tells them they're alone in the relationship. And when someone starts feeling emotionally unsafe, they stop opening up. They stop sharing. They stop trusting. Relationships thrive on emotional honesty. Without it, everything cracks. There are moments when a man thinks he's protecting the relationship by avoiding conflict. But avoidance doesn't protect anything. It builds silent resentment. It builds internal pressure. It builds emotional barriers that become harder to break with time. Healthy couples face uncomfortable truths. They communicate clearly even when it's hard. They don't run from feelings. They work through them. That's how connection grows stronger instead of weaker. Another hidden behavior that destroys relationships is passive detachment. This isn't a breakup. It isn't walking away. It's staying physically present but mentally distant. It's when someone stops trying. They stop putting in effort. They stop doing the little things they used to do. They stop noticing their partner's needs. They stop participating emotionally. Detachment is dangerous because it's subtle. You can sit next to someone every day and still feel alone. You can share a home but not share a connection. And when detachment sets in, love stops growing. Attraction stops growing. Respect stops growing. In psychology, detachment is one of the earliest signs of relationship decay because it isn't caused by one fight or one mistake. It's caused by accumulation. It's caused by unresolved issues. It's caused by emotional fatigue. And the moment someone feels like effort is one-sided, distance increases fast. Healthy relationships require engagement. They require presence. They require effort from both sides. The third hidden behavior that destroys relationships is comparison. Not just comparing your partner to other people, but comparing the relationship to a fantasy. Social media has made this worse. People compare their lives to highlight reels. They compare their partner to filtered, edited, staged moments they see online. Comparison kills gratitude. It blinds people to the good they already have. And once comparison enters the mind, dissatisfaction starts creeping in. Not because the relationship is bad, but because someone is chasing an illusion. Men often underestimate how powerful comparison can be on emotional connection. If your partner feels judged or feels like she's being compared to someone else, she will shut down. She will stop giving emotionally. She will stop feeling appreciated. Love requires acceptance. Not perfection. Not competition. Not unrealistic standards. Gratitude builds closeness. Comparison destroys it quietly. Another silent relationship killer is chronic negativity. This doesn't mean a fight or a complaint here and there. It means living in a negative emotional state for too long. When someone constantly criticizes, constantly complains, and constantly focuses on what's wrong instead of what's right, the emotional tone of the relationship shifts. Negativity drains attraction. It drains respect. It drains the desire to connect. Human psychology is simple in one way. We move toward what feels good and away from what feels heavy. If being near you feels draining, your partner will pull away. If conversations feel like walking on eggshells, your partner will withhold. If interactions feel hostile, connection will shrink. Positive energy creates emotional safety. Negative energy destroys it. But the most damaging hidden behavior is emotional laziness. Emotional laziness is when someone expects the relationship to run on autopilot. They stop appreciating. They stop listening. They stop putting in emotional effort. They stop working on themselves. Love requires maintenance. Attraction requires maintenance. The relationship you want requires consistent action. When emotional laziness appears, the relationship becomes predictable and dull. And nothing kills attraction faster than emotional stagnation. People often say relationships require work. But it's not heavy work. It's presence. It's intention. It's awareness. It's choosing to show up emotionally even when life gets busy. When someone becomes emotionally lazy, they assume the relationship will stay the same even if they stop giving. But relationships don't stay the same. They grow, or they decay. Nothing ever stays neutral. Here's the truth many people avoid. Relationships don't fall apart because of big fights. They fall apart because of small habits that go unnoticed. A lack of appreciation. A lack of curiosity. A lack of effort. A lack of emotional consistency. These are quiet behaviors, but they have loud consequences. Healthy relationships are built on 5 foundations: respect, communication, trust, attraction, and shared effort. When any of these weaken, the relationship becomes vulnerable. Most couples think love is enough. But love without effort becomes routine. Love without communication becomes confusion. Love without consistency becomes insecurity. And love without presence becomes distance. So what do you do if you notice these hidden behaviors happening in your relationship right now? You start with awareness. You start by being honest with yourself. You start by asking the hard questions. Are you present? Are you giving effort? Are you communicating clearly? Are you showing appreciation? Are you choosing connection instead of avoidance? Self-awareness is the beginning of emotional leadership. Next, rebuild emotional safety. Emotional safety comes from honesty, consistency, and empathy. It comes from listening without judgment. It comes from validating your partner's feelings even if you don't fully agree. When someone feels emotionally safe with you, they open up. They soften. They reconnect. Safety brings closeness. Then, bring back positive energy. Compliments. Appreciation. Small surprises. Words of encouragement. These things create emotional warmth. They create attraction. They remind your partner that they matter. Positivity can repair wounds that negativity created. You also need to rebuild effort. Effort doesn't mean expensive gifts or grand gestures. It means consistency. Checking in. Communicating. Showing interest. Being present. Every relationship transforms when effort becomes intentional. And finally, strengthen emotional intimacy. Emotional intimacy is the deeper connection that keeps couples bonded. It's sharing thoughts. Sharing fears. Sharing dreams. It's having conversations that go beyond the surface. Emotional intimacy builds trust. Trust builds closeness. Closeness builds love that lasts. When you eliminate these hidden behaviors and replace them with emotional leadership, your relationship becomes stronger, healthier, and more fulfilling. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is presence. The goal is awareness. The goal is to grow together instead of drifting apart. Strong men lead with emotional intelligence. They create an environment where connection can thrive. And when you become that kind of man, you don't just save the relationship. You elevate it.